I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. That was Work Hard and Be Nice by Michael Franti and Spearhead. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And silence surrounds us. We've been walking for what feels like hours, but it's hard to tell without any outside information. I'm with a group of 7, including myself, which is good, I think. I suspect safety in numbers, but who's to say that every single one of these people doesn't turn on me? They haven't given me any reason to think that, so I won't, but I will be aware. It is so quiet. Our footsteps don't make any sort of noise, and when we try to speak, we get no response, as if communication has been removed from this realm, as if we are not allowed to hear what our peers might have to say. The person at the front of the group turned around just now, and he's saying something. Of course, I cannot hear him, and I certainly cannot read his lips because his mouth only appears as a blur. He must be censored, though I have no clue what by. Maybe this is a punishment, a prison for those who cannot be trusted with their words, a place where hateful insiders, fearmongers, yoga instructors, cult leaders, and radio hosts can be safely contained so as not to affect the general populace. I don't know why I would be here, though. I've never said anything controversial or mind-blowing, just facts and stories and existentialism. Up next, Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People, and after that, Survivin' by Bastille. That was Hell and Back by Bakar. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. It is endurable. The horribly difficult thing you are handling right now has the properties that something possible would also have. Is it a math test? I get it. Studying is hard. Or maybe just time-consuming. Or maybe just boring. The math test is possible, though. You sit down and write your answers, and they are right or wrong. It is endurable. Is your mother difficult to talk to? Has she been traumatized in the past so that now, when she is a parent, that leaks out in poor communication habits like gaslighting or blaming? Have you talked to her about that? Yes, if a mother has poor communication skills, it would make sense that you, her child, would also have poor communication skills. But that's no reason to let it continue. There's no need to spite your mother. She birthed you, and I'm sure she wants the same type of relationship with you that you want with her. For the most part, she is there for you. For the most part, she will work with you. Tell her how you feel without pointing fingers or asserting blame, and just work it out. Ask her to consider a better relationship with you. It is difficult. It may even feel impossible, but I promise you, it is endurable. Up next, Hook by Blues Traveler, and after that, Impossible Weight by Deep Sea Diver. That was We Couldn't Fake It by the Coronas. There we go. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. The third child acts aloof as the family is rushing about, getting ready to attend her soccer game. She sits in the back of the minivan, with its trunk popped all the way open, kicking her little legs against the tailpipe. This is something her father has asked her many times to not do, and still she persists. It's not on purpose. She's a child, and she forgot. And so her father doesn't get upset, and it's not even that big of a deal, right? The third child's father enters the garage with a few armloads of lawn chairs, blankets, snacks, and dragging a cooler full of ice and water. He keeps a six-pack hidden under the waters, and a flask tucked into his jacket lining. He swears it's not a problem. The third child knows he will yell during the game, probably at her. Probably something nice. It always is. But it's the yelling that gets to her. It gets in her head. She can't concentrate on the game when there is a 30-year-old man screaming from the sidelines. The third child packs into the car with the rest of the family, holding her soccer ball tight between her knees. She imagines it is the head of one of the rival team members and squeezes tighter. Up next, Little Miss Can't Be Wrong by Spin Doctors, and after that, Mercy by Duffy. You just heard Don't Let Me Down by Milky Chance and Jack Johnson. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And they are so parched, so thirsty for water that they might take it from anywhere. Watch out, folks. The Circus of Flies has come to town. For the next few weeks, our little city will be hosting the famous traveling circus and attempting to survive the matter. The last few towns that the carnival visited have not been heard from. That worried our station, so we sent out a team of researchers to investigate. What they found was horrifying. Where once stood fantastic cities and little towns now rests flat lands of dust. The buildings that once scraped the sky now barely get off the ground. The waterways have all dried up, leaving no moisture for any life to survive. It is so dry, in fact, that one of the researchers died. He made the mistake of exiting his vehicle before running any preliminary tests, which would have conclusively shown that yes, you should wear your protective suit, Daniel. But Daniel was in a rush to get back to tell me the news of what he found. Of course, he always looked up to me. I'm not surprised, though. He was always overeager. The Circus of Flies will only be in town for a few weeks, but it could be devastating if we let it. To be fair, though, it's fantastic for the economy. Up next, Don't Come Round Here No More by Tom Petty, and after that, Waiting on a War by Foo Fighters. That was Please Don't Tell Her by Big Head Todd. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And snails crowd a cell. The poor inmate has a debilitating fear of snails. You can see how this wouldn't work out. The inmate was indicted on several charges of fraud and tax evasion. Nothing crazy, a simple white-collar crime that really only affected the company he used to work for. No one felt particularly bad for him, but no one was upset either, except the company. The judge was lenient as they could be, and sentenced him to 5 years in a minimum security prison. The problem with this minimum security prison in particular was an issue of structure. The building was technically safe, sure. The steel was primed, the nails were galvanized, the walls are cement, and the floors are too. But there are cracks. Little areas where small creatures might be able to get in. And so the prison has bugs. A lot of bugs. Some inmates complain about waking up to cockroaches on their faces, or spiders in their shoes, but no one has mentioned snails. Not yet. Not until this particular prisoner woke up in the middle of the night, parched. And as he jumped off the top bunk, he was displeased to land on and subsequently crush several snails. The shells were brittle and thin, and so they were shattered, sending bits of snail carbon into the soles of his feet. The slime from the snails sent him hurtling towards the floor. He smacked his head on the bottom bunk and passed out. He awoke hours later, covered in snails, and he screamed. The guards ran in to see what was going on. All they could do was point and laugh. Up next, Trampoline by Shayad, and after that, Trojans by Atlas Genius. But before I let you go, it's midnight, and you know what that means. It's the end of my shift, but don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. Today was a pretty good day. Tomorrow will be even better.